Hi guys, welcome back to another video from Q Talks. I talk to you, about the things that are on my mind at any given time. And this video, first of all, I do want to say, kind of excuse the angle of the lighting, like the sun's there, this is here, but this is the best that I could do, and this is the only angle that I'm happy with right now. So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys today. I wanted to talk to you about validation, the need for validation, and reducing, if not completely removing, the need for external validation. The reason why I feel like this is such a prevalent topic or like a relevant topic is because we are living in a world with social media, so many people, so many content creators, so many ideas, so many, opinions, and this can affect the way people show up in the world because there's so many ways that you can show up, but at the same time, we see that some people are validated more for the way that they show up. And sometimes that validation is what people confuse with success. So I wanted to talk about that. And I basically wanted to give you a mindset shift on how to look at things differently. So if you grew up with low to no validation in your life. This means in the earlier years of your life, your childhood, specifically between 0 and 7, but also in like your early school years and your early like high school, secondary school years, you may not have received a lot of validation, external validation, whether that's in the form of compliments, whether that's in the form of praise, whether that's in the form of acceptance. You may have lacked this. So I am here to give you a different perspective on that because it is no secret that often when people don't have a lot of validation in earlier parts of their life, it can affect their self esteem, their self confidence. And that's completely understandable. However, there's two ways that you can look at this. You can consider that, especially if you have a belief in yourself, in a knowing that you do have something valuable to provide to this world, you can consider the fact that while some people grew up with a lot of, validation, a lot of support, which encouraged them to put themselves out there, to you know, be confident in themselves and in their expression of themselves. You may feel like because you didn't have that, maybe what it is that you want to share, your purpose may not be, that necessary, or you question it. I'm here to tell you to look at it differently and to consider this. What if the reason why you had low to no validation, despite knowing your internal gifts and talents, was actually because you didn't need it? Yeah. As in, you and what you know to be true about yourself is so powerful and holds so much weight on its own that you don't need the same level of validation that others do. Consider that. This is something that I had to consider myself and realize about myself because growing up without a certain level of validation, it affected me deeply, affected me painfully. Yet when I started to understand who I was as a person, how I am as a person, how. Oh, sorry, I had a delivery. So, back to what I was saying. When I started to understand myself, if you hear tinkling in the background, it's my cat. When I started to understand myself, the way I view myself, the gifts and talents that I have, the unique inner knowing that I have, even though I did get stuck in times of feeling so low and hearing, because I think this is the effect that it has when you get low to no validation when you're young. As you get older, even if you do receive validation, because it's not something that you know how to process or accept, even if you believe what people are saying, it's like there's a wall up. Like, it's like it doesn't mean anything to you because when you needed to hear it, it wasn't there. So even though you are hearing it now and you do appreciate it, there's only so much that you're able to take it in, especially if you are still working on yourself and healing yourself. Once you are at a good level within yourself, you start to realize that validation is not something you need. This is why when people tell you certain things about you, again, while you do appreciate it, it's like you almost don't want to hear it. It's because you don't need to hear it. Because you don't need it. You know what you know about yourself, okay? And if you really, really think about it, again, if you know what you know about yourself, your gifts and talents, how you wish to express them, what is it that you're waiting for? What validation do you truly need? Other people may have required validation growing up to mold them into who they are, to allow them to blossom their latent gifts. But if you are somebody that already knew yourself, that already knows who and what you are at a core level because of the experiences that you've had, and you still know that to be true about you today, what validation do you really need? Do you need any validation? Do you need anybody to tell you that you're doing good? Do you need anybody to really tell you about your content when you know what your content is? When you know what value you bring to the table? Because the thing is, if you are always waiting, looking for, and expecting validation, that is what will hold you back in expressing yourself the way you naturally would. And it also, it's something that you can allow to chip away at your confidence and your belief in yourself because you feel like other people have to believe in you more than you do. And does that even sound correct? Does it make sense? No. This is why I wanted to make sure in the angle that you guys could even see this t-shirt that I'm saying, because it says ménage à moi. So it's a play on words of, the phrase ménage à trois. Ménage à trois. Don't butcher me for the pronunciation, guys. But we know what that means. That is supposed to mean like, party of three, threesome, three people. Ménage à moi is you. To me, this means just like me. I'm all I need. Do you know what I mean? To fulfill myself, to excite myself, to enjoy and take enjoyment in myself. So it kind of fits in with the ability to validate yourself and your experience without anybody else needing to be a part of that. So that's really, really what I wanted to share. And I wanted to ask you, let's say, even if you did have all of this validation, what impact would it really have had on who you are now? And let's say if you had all of that growing up, but then you had none of it now, what would you do? Because vice versa, if the reality is that you had no validation growing up and now you get validation, what does that mean to you? Or let's say you had none growing up and you still have none now. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to allow that to tell you about yourself when you know yourself at a core level? Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be observing other people getting validated and being like, oh, if, I received that level of validation, then I too would be able to express this about myself. You already know what it is that you want to express. So, what are you waiting for? This is my video for you today. I hope you enjoy it. Comment. This is an open community. I will always talk to you. I will always read your message. Even if you agree to disagree with me, I'm open to debating. I think we should all live and learn from one another, and that is why I continue to talk. Okay, take care. See you in the next one.